sharp as the 7th note. But the starting riff sounds like this. So if you want a simplified introduction, you can just play these chords. G. I'm leaving off the 5th here. You can include it, or you can leave it off. Notice all that you need to get the sound of a solid G chord is G and B. Probably the guitar player will be playing along with you, and so they'll fill in that note there. This is our C2 chord. Notice what note is missing in a C chord. C, E, G. I've got C, G, and D. So this C2 sound is a nice open sounding chord. Notice it's 2/5 built on top of each other. So we have two ways to start the intro on this. The riff. Or just chords. So the chords on the verses are pretty much the same. One note is, if you want, you can just do whole notes on the verse 1. Worthy of every song. And then start adding in quarter notes on verse 2, like this. Jesus, the name above every other name. That adds just a little bit more motion. And then we're going to go into the chorus. The first time you play the chorus, I just recommend doing solid whole notes while the voices and the guitars and drums drive the rhythm. So I've got a low C, octaves here, a G and a D. Notice we're leaving out that E again for the chord. That's our C2 sound. There is no one sound. I'm keeping the G from the C chord, and that gives a beautiful A minor 7 sound. Keeps this note common between the two chords, and even going into the 3rd chord of the chorus, that G stays common. G. Watch it again. G. There is no your thumb can pedal that G all throughout the chorus and give a nice solid smooth sound and give a little spice to the A chord. So here's the chorus chords starting on a C2. left hand brings in the E note to create an E minor 7. Very nice chord. Here's an E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The 7th note above an E is a D. And so that's an E minor 7. The first time, if you just want to play whole notes through the chorus, there is no one like you. Then when we repeat, that gives room to drive the rhythm, like with eighth notes or even quarter notes or even eighth notes like this. Driving eighth notes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so this would be like the second or third time through the chorus. Last thing I'll mention about this chorus is when your right hand is in this position, G position, you have all the notes to support the melody. So what that means is, as you become comfortable with playing the chords and you can sprinkle in that melody, just have tons of fun with it because your hand doesn't have to move far to get the notes. Song, the bridge, I Will Build My Life. Now in this section you can move up an octave, so we're just again in G position up an octave, and you can just start with that simple melody. If you've got a band backing you and playing along with you, leading the congregation, you can simply just play a right hand melody, and that's enough to keep this going. If you're playing by yourself and you want the root of the chord in your left hand, it'll fill it in a little bit. So we start on a C, the second or third time through the chorus, the bridge, you may want to try octave, or the melody in octaves. So it sounds something like this. Really nice, and that repeats, of course. If you want to get even more creative, the third or fourth time through the bridge, you can start to add in octaves with the third. Now this is advanced, and your hand may not fit this shape, but you can watch what my hand does here. I've got the octave, and sometimes I'm adding in the third above the melody, just to give it a little more spice and fun. Of course, the left hand in the bridge on the third or fourth repetition can begin playing more of these types of things. Taking the chords and spreading it over an octave and a fifth. advanced and have even more fun with this, you can spread it over an octave, rather a tenth instead of an octave. So here's a C chord. If we take this E and we move it up an octave and we spread this, isn't that a beautiful sound? On a D. So if your hand can't stretch that far, a tenth, like Rachmaninoff or my hand, you can roll over, you can pivot on that middle note and reach up. E minor, G over B. So spreading out those chords in the left hand gives you a very orchestral and broad and beautiful sound. It's sort of like this when you get going all together. So when you come back around to the chorus, that sound of the left hand spread out like this with the root, the fifth, and then the 10th, which is just the third moved up. Sounds really nice on holy as well. You can do it down here. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. So just have fun with that. Again, the simplest way is fifths, or even just the root of the chord, and then adding the fifth. Add the octave, and if you want to get really fancy, pivot up to the 10th. One more time on that. Just the root of the chord is enough for a lot of playing. Or adding the fifth with the left hand, or adding the octave above, or pivot up to the 10th. So that gives you lots of options depending on where you are on your personal piano journey, in terms of the difficulty and the complexity and the variety that you want to use. So that is the song Build My Life. Absolutely gorgeous song. I hope it touches your heart as well as those you're serving, and that's a useful tutorial for you. Go learn it, make it your own, and remember, you don't have to play all the notes of the chord to create a beautiful sound. For example, at the beginning, Worthy of Every Song, we left out the D. On the C2, we left out the E that's part of the C chord usually to create an open C2 sound. Here my right hand leaves out the B. So I'm just pedaling these two notes throughout this intro, and it creates a very nice open sound so that other voices and the guitar can fit inside it. Again, it sounds like... It may sound a little empty to your ear as you're playing it by yourself, but again, remember, we don't need to play all the notes because there's going to be other instrumentalists playing with us in the band, in the group, and so as the pianist, we can lay down the main notes, the main notes that are needed to hear the melody, and then let the other instruments like the guitar and bass fill in that sound, and that's the way we create a great blend together rather than the instruments fighting each other. All right, bless you. Have great fun learning this song and singing it with your church.